Hello and welcome to a beautiful day in East Hartford, Connecticut, and the first ever Store Central pregame show. This is Aman Kidwai, joined by Graham Chamberlain. Graham, how you doing today? How you feeling ahead of this opening matchup against CCSU?
Feeling great. The weather is perfect. It's like 70 degrees right now. Some clouds cover the sun. Field's looking beautiful. Our logo's looking beautiful out on the field. Should be a great day to start the Labor Day weekend and hopefully get a big Husky win today.
Yeah, I like that it's starting the schedule against an FCS opponent. Haven't had that in a while. Since UConn's been independent, it's been a lot of really tough games to open the season. I think this is going to give them at least a soft way to enter. And, things get really serious next week, starting with the road game at Syracuse. But what are you expecting ahead of this matchup going against Central Connecticut? The Huskies are favored by like 22 points. How do you think that's going to play out?
I think today is going to be maybe not as exciting or as dominating as it was last year against Merrimack. I think we're kind of going to see a similar outcome in terms of the offense is going to be clicking. That's not where my concern is today. Cam Edwards is going to be on point, Mel Brown, Joe Fagnano. I think they're going to be just fine. I still think that there is a possibility that Central can put some points together today. I don't think that's indicative of what the rest of the season will bring, just more so that getting dudes into the rotation, getting comfortable playing, some playing some meaningful snaps for the first time in a while.
Yeah, and hey, Central's a good FCS team. Don't look past them. They won their conference last year, and have a lot of experience across the board. That said, I do think UConn should be able to assert itself, like you said. Offense should be able to click, and defense. Even though there's lots of new guys, I'm optimistic about year 2 with Matt Brock. And then in the case of this game, they still should have a pretty sizable advantage to not get beat deep, not give up big plays, that kind of thing, not get beat up in the run. How are you feeling on that front?
Yeah, I agree totally. It's a brand new front 7, front 6, depending on what Matt Brock is throwing out there, but these are FBS players, and like you said, this is an FCS matchup with Central. And even though there's new guys on the line, they still should have, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster than the Central guys, who also are breaking in a new offensive line themselves. So even though they have a great running attack, I think they may struggle today, even though there's new guys for UConn.
Yeah, I mean, a couple other things I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I'm interested in wide receiver. Who else, after Skylar Bell, is positioned to be a really strong contributor? I think we'll maybe get a sense of that today if we see who else stands out. And then, on defense for UConn, everyone's new. So it's going to be who plays the most, who stands out. That's going to be really exciting to watch, no matter who the opponent is. We got the first look at the 2 deep earlier this week. Saw that on Tuesday. It's clear that there's a lot expected out of transfers who are new to the team. Who are some names to keep an eye on today in this game?
I think it's going to be largely on the defense that we're looking for new guys. We want to see what Tyquan King does out there. I want to see what Brian Parham does out there. In the secondary, Lee Millette was the safety 1 with Tyrese Mills behind him from Penn State. Depends on who gets the most snaps there, but I think I want to see what some of the new guys bring. And I think despite the 2 deep saying this person's a starter, this person's second, I think we see a lot of rotation today. Central's the perfect kind of opponent to do that. So who gets the most snaps and who's going to be the one that actually says to the coaches, like, I need to be out there with their performance.
Anything else stand out to you from the 2 deep?
I think mainly the offensive line. I think we thought we'd see, Ty Chan from Notre Dame on there. I still think you do. This is a coach in Jim Moore that's notorious for putting "or" for everybody on his old 2 deeps. So, it's not something that I would say to be married to, but, at linebacker, people who've listened know I've talked about Umar Diamande. He was out there. I still think he splits a good amount of carries. I doubt he's going to be out there as often as like Jaden McDonald was last year, but I'm interested to see, what a homegrown developed player does, because the next step for UConn is to these high school players. You can't keep going to the portal every single offseason. You have to at a school like UConn, but you also want your guys to develop. So I'm really interested to see what he does out there.
Nice, yeah. Now we also got a true freshman on the 2 deep at backup corner. Pretty exciting, to your point about development. Final note, Graham, here, just any injuries to be aware of, anything to be concerned about heading into the game?
Yeah, just one mainly for Connecticut. It's D lineman Trent Jones, who's a transfer from Iowa State. Haven't gotten a exact how long he's out for. We don't want to speculate, obviously, on injuries, but it didn't sound great. So he's at least out for today.
All right, we got kickoff at 2 p.m. here at the Rent. Thank you all for watching.